Hey Krishna everyone, welcome back to the daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books right here in the Haven, Hythe, Kent, Southeast England, right next to the English Channel. The word Hythe actually in Anglo-Saxon means haven, so we've kind of adopted this term, but it's really true. Why? Because when you're here with us, you get to become immersed in hearing the Sri Caitanya-caritämrta, associating with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami, and all the other eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya, which creates a safe zone, not just a safe zone, but a blissful atmosphere. No matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on around you, when we're here and hearing and chanting the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Srila Prabhupada's own words, in his purports especially, then we are happy campers. So welcome aboard everyone. Please, I haven't said this in a long time, but sharing means caring, and caring means sharing. So we hope that we try to increase. We've got up to 2,500 followers. Not that that means everyone's there every night, live, but that's the number of persons who have signed up to be followers of this site, daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books. So please, let's try to expand it. Let's try to share it. This is going to be the beginning of the Prabhupada Marathon. I'm a little, myself personally, physically debilitated. I can't really go out there or do much to participate in the marathon directly, but I could just try to encourage all of you to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, to try to increase the number of persons who come to hear from this daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books. So in that spirit, we listen, we hear the glorification of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for the Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. He said, in due course, Mahapralaya, devastating floods, will inundate the entire universe. If you attempt to survive by swimming in that deluge, then do not neglect to take hold of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. Or, if you cannot hold all three, then release Bhagavad Gita. If necessary, you may also relinquish Srimad Bhagavatam. But under no circumstances release your hold on Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. For if this one book remains, then the flood can do no actual damage, because after the flood has subsided, the message of Shastra can be revived from Sri Caitanya-caritämrta alone, it being the essence of all Shastra. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. So, we've reached the 22nd chapter of the Madhya-lila, very famous chapter, the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami, in which he explains pure devotional service. We're beginning with text 23. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if he seriously and sincerely says, "My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service." 34. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, "My dear Lord, from this day I am yours," and prays to me for fearlessness, I shall immediately award fearlessness to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. Purport.
So I'm sorry, but did we read 32? I was just confused because I wrote it down.
No, maybe we didn't. We were supposed to start on 32?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a fact checker over here. His name is Abhay Das Brahmachari. He's so soft-spoken that sometimes when he speaks, nothing comes out, even though he's speaking. He's that shy and that soft-spoken and that humble. But he's still my fact checker, and he just revealed to me that I should have started on verse 32. I started on 33 by mistake. Sometimes, depend on where your cursor is on the thing, it'll have a different number up in the top of the page. So we're going to start again. But don't worry, we're still with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's still instructing Sanatana Goswami, and we'll get to hear those two beautiful verses again that I just read, because they were really important by the mercy of Abhay Das Brahmachari. Okay, text 32. The external energy, the external illusory energy of Krishna, known as Maya, is always ashamed to stand in front of Krishna, just as darkness is ashamed to remain before the sunshine. However, that Maya bewilders unfortunate people who have no intelligence. Thus, they simply boast that this material world is theirs and that they are its enjoyers. Purport. The entire world is bewildered because people are thinking, this is my land. America is mine. India is mine. Not knowing the real value of life, people think that the material body and the land where it is produced are all in all. This is the basic principle behind nationalism, socialism, and communism. Such thinking, which simply bewilders the living being, is nothing but rascalism. It is due to the darkness of Maya. But as soon as one becomes Krishna conscious, he is immediately relieved from such misconceptions. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 2:5-13. There is another appropriate verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 2:7-47. Shashvat prashantam abhayam pratibodhamatram shudham samam sadasatak paramatmatatvam shabdo nayatra pudukara Shabdo nayatra pudukarakavan kriyarto maya paraiti abhimukhe chibija bilajamana tadvaipadam bhagavatak padamasya pungso brahmeti yad vidurajasra sukham bishokam. What is realized as the absolute Brahman is full of unlimited bliss without grief. That is certainly the ultimate phase of the Supreme Enjoyer, the Personality of Godhead. He is eternally devoid of all disturbances, completely conscious as opposed to matter, uncontaminated and without distinctions. He is the principal, primeval cause of all causes and effects, in whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities, and in whom the illusory energy does not stand. This verse was spoken by Lord Brahma when he was questioned by the great sage Narada. Narada was surprised to see the creator of the universe meditating, for this indicated there might be someone greater than Lord Brahma. While answering the great sage Narada, Lord Brahma described the position of Maya and the bewildered living entities. This verse was spoken in that connection. Seems like there were 3 verses, doesn't it? Oh, I see. Okay, 2 verses. Text 33. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if he seriously and sincerely prays, "My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service." 34. Sakrit eva prapano yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadamye tad vratam mama. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, "My dear Lord, from this day I am yours," and prays to me for fearlessness, I shall immediately award fearlessness to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. Purport. This verse from the Ramayana, Yudhakanda 12:20, was spoken by Lord Ramachandra. Text 35. Due to bad association, the living entity desires material happiness, liberation, or merging into the impersonal aspect of the Lord. Or he engages in mystic yoga for material power. If such a person actually becomes intelligent, he takes to Krishna consciousness by engaging himself in intense devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna. Text 36. Akama, sarvakamo va, mokshakama udara dihi, tivrena bhakti yogena, yajeta purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, or whether he desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. 37. If those who desire material enjoyment or merging into the existence of the Absolute Truth engage in the Lord's transcendental loving service, they will immediately attain shelter at Krishna's lotus feet, although they did not ask for it. Krishna is therefore very merciful. Text 38. Krishna says, "If one engages in my transcendental loving service, but at the same time wants the opulence of material enjoyment, he is very, very foolish. Indeed, he is just like a person who gives up ambrosia to drink poison." 39. Since I am very intelligent, why should I give this fool material prosperity? Instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyment. Purport. Those who are interested in material enjoyment are known as bhukti kami. One who is interested in merging into the effulgence of Brahman or perfecting the mystic yoga system is not a devotee at all. Devotees do not have such desires. However, if a karmi, jnani, or yogi somehow contacts a devotee and renders devotional service, Krishna immediately awards him love of God and gives him shelter at his lotus feet, although he may have no idea how to develop love of Krishna. If a person wants material profit from devotional service, Krishna condemns such materialistic desires. To desire material opulence while engaging in devotional service is foolish. Although the person may be foolish, Krishna, being all-intelligent, engages him in his devotional service in such a way that he gradually forgets material opulence. The point is that we should not try to exchange loving service for material prosperity. If we are actually surrendered to the lotus feet of Krishna, our only desire should be to satisfy Krishna. That is pure Krishna consciousness. Surrender means not that we demand something from the Lord, but that we completely depend on His mercy. If Krishna likes, He may keep His devotee in a poverty-stricken condition, or if He likes, He may keep him in an opulent position. The devotee should not be concerned in either case. He should simply be very serious about trying to satisfy the Lord by rendering Him service. Text 40. Whenever Krishna is requested to fulfill one's desire, he undoubtedly does so. But he does not award anything which, after being enjoyed, will cause one to petition him again and again to fulfill further desires. When one has other desires but engages in the Lord's service, Krishna forcibly gives one shelter at his lotus feet, where one will forget all other desires. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 5:19-27. Text 41. When someone engages in Lord Krishna's devotional service for the satisfaction of the senses, and instead acquires a taste for serving Krishna, he gives up his material desires and willingly offers himself as an eternal servant of Krishna. Let's read that again. This is very sweet. When someone engages in Lord Krishna's devotional service for the satisfaction of the senses, and instead acquires a taste for serving Krishna, he gives up his material desires and willingly offers himself as an eternal servant of Krishna. Text 42. When he was being blessed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dhruva Maharaj said, "O my Lord, because I was seeking an opulent material position, I was performing severe types of penance and austerity. Now I have gotten you, who are very difficult for the great demigods, saintly persons, and kings to attain. I was searching after a piece of glass, but instead I have found a most valuable jewel. Therefore I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you." Purport. This verse is from the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya 7:28. Text 43. The conditioned souls are wandering throughout the different planets of the universe, entering various species of life. By good fortune, one of these souls may somehow or other be delivered from the ocean of nations, just as one of the many big logs in a flowing river may by chance reach the bank. Purport. There are unlimited conditioned souls who are bereft of Lord Krishna's service. Not knowing how to cross the ocean of nations, they are scattered by the waves of time and tide. However, some are fortunate to contact devotees, and by this contact they are delivered from the ocean of nations, just as a log floating down a river accidentally washes up upon the bank. Text 44. Because I am so fallen, I shall never get a chance to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This was my false apprehension. Rather, by chance, a person as fallen as I am may get to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although one is being carried away by the waves of the river of time, one may eventually reach the shore. Purport. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:38-5 was spoken by Akrura. Text 35. By good fortune, one becomes eligible to cross the ocean of nations. And when one's term of material existence decreases, one may get an opportunity to associate with pure devotees. By such association, one's attraction to Krishna is awakened. Purport. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this point. In this bhagya, fortune, the result of an accident or something, is this bhagya, fortune, the result of an accident or something else? In the scriptures, devotional service and pious activity are considered fortunate. Pious activities can be divided into three categories. Pious activities that awaken one's dormant Krishna consciousness are called Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti. Pious activities that bestow material opulence are called Bhogonmukhi Sukriti. And pious activities that enable the living entity to merge into the existence of the Supreme are called Mokshonmukhi Sukriti. These last two awards of pious activity are not actually fortunate. Pious activities are fortunate when they help one become Krishna conscious. The good fortune of Bhakti Unmukhi is attainable only when one comes in contact with a devotee. By associating with a devotee willingly or unwillingly, one advances in devotional service, and thus one's dormant Krishna consciousness is awakened. 46. O my Lord, O infallible Supreme Person, when a person wandering throughout the universes becomes eligible for liberation from material existence, he gets an opportunity to associate with devotees. When he associates with devotees, his attraction for you is awakened. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal of the topmost devotees, and the Lord of the universe. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:51-53. Text 47. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart as the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within. When he is kind to some fortunate conditioned soul, he personally gives him lessons so that he can progress in devotional service, instructing the person as the super soul within and the spiritual master without. Text 48. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:29-6. It was spoken to Uddhava after he had been instructed in yoga by Sri Krishna. Text 49. Sadhu Sange Krishna Bhakti Shraddha Yadi Hoy Bhakti Pala Prema Hoy Sangsara Yaya Choya. By associating with a devotee, one awakens his faith in devotional service to Krishna. Because of devotional service, one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, and thus one's material conditioned existence comes to an end. Text 50. Somehow or other, if one is attracted to the talks about me and has faith in the instructions I have set forth in the Bhagavad Gita, and if one is neither falsely detached from material things nor very much attracted to material existence, his dormant love for me will be awakened by devotional service. Purport. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:28 was spoken by Krishna at the time of his departure from this material world. It was spoken to Uddhava. Text 51. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. Purport. Pious activities bring about material opulence, but one cannot acquire devotional service by any amount of material pious activity. Not by giving charity, opening big hospitals and schools, or working philanthropically. Devotional service can be attained only by the mercy of a pure devotee. Without a pure devotee's mercy, one cannot even escape the bondage of material existence. The word Mahat in this verse means a pure devotee, as Lord Krishna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita 9:13. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajantyananya manaso yatva bhutadam avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. One has to associate with such a Mahatma who has accepted Krishna as the supreme source of the entire creation. Without being a Mahatma, one cannot understand Krishna's absolute position. A Mahatma is rare and transcendental, and he is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Foolish people consider Krishna a human being, and they consider Krishna's pure devotee an ordinary human being also. Whatever one may be, one must take shelter at the lotus feet of a devotee, Mahatma, and treat him as the most exalted well-wisher of all human society. We should take shelter of such a Mahatma and ask for his causeless mercy. Only by his benediction can one be relieved from attachment to the materialistic way of life. When one is thus relieved, he can engage in the Lord's transcendental loving service through the mercy of the Mahatma. Text 52. O King Rahugana, without taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee, a Mahajan or Mahatma, one cannot attain devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain simply by undergoing severe austerities and penances, by gorgeously worshipping the deity, or by strictly following the rules and regulations of the sannyas or grihastha order, nor it is attained by studying the Vedas, submerging oneself in water, or exposing oneself to fire or scorching sunlight. Purport. This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.12.12. Jad Bharat herein tells King Rahugana how he attained the Paramahansa stage. Maharaj Rahugana, the king of Sindhu and Saurvira, had asked Jad Bharat how he had attained the Paramahansa stage. The king had called him to carry his palanquin, but when the king heard from Paramahansa Jad Bharat about the supreme philosophy, he expressed surprise and asked Jad Bharat how he had attained such great liberation. At that time, Jad Bharat informed the king how to become detached from material attraction. Text 53. Naishang matis tavad urukramangrim sprishatyanar pa pagamo yadartaha mahiyasam padarajo vishekam nishkinchananam navrinitijavat. Unless human society accepts the dust of the lotus feet of great Mahatmas, devotees who have nothing to do with material possessions, mankind cannot turn its attention to the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all the unwanted, miserable conditions of material life. Purport. This verse appears in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.32. When the great sage Narada was giving instructions to Maharaj Yudhishthira, he narrated the activities of Prahlad Maharaj. This verse was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj to his father, Hiranyakashipu, the king of demons. Prahlad Maharaj had informed his father of the 9 basic processes of Bhakti Yoga, explaining that whoever takes to these processes is to be considered a highly learned scholar. Hiranyakashipu, however, did not like his son to talk about devotional service. Therefore, he immediately called Prahlad's teacher, Shanda. The teacher explained that he had not taught devotional service to Prahlad, but that the boy was naturally inclined in that way. At that time, Hiranyakashipu became very angry and asked Prahlad why he had become a Vaishnava. In answer to this question, Prahlad Maharaj recited this verse to the effect that one cannot become the Lord's devotee without receiving the mercy and blessings of another devotee. Text 54. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that even by a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. Purport. According to astronomical calculations, a lava is 1/11 of a second. Text 55. Tulayama levenapi na swargam na punar bhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashishaha. The value of a moment's association with a pure devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even to the attainment of the heavenly planets or liberation from matter, and what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for death. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.18.13. This verse concerns the Vedic rites and sacrifices performed by the great sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shonaka Rishi. The sages pointed out that association with a devotee for even less than a second is beyond comparison to 1,000 Vedic rituals and sacrifices. Elevation to heavenly planets, or merging into the existence of the Supreme. 56. Krishna is so merciful that simply by aiming his instructions at Arjuna, he has given perfect protection to the whole world. 57 and 58. Sarva guyatamang bhuyak shrinu me paramam vachaha ishtosi me dridham iti tato bhakshami te hitam manmana bhavamad bhakto majjaji mam namaskuru mamibai shashishatyam te pratijane priyosime. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Purport. This is a quotation from the Bhagavad Gita, 1864 and 65, text 59. Although Krishna previously explained the proficiency of executing Vedic rituals, performing fruitive activity as enjoined in the Vedas, practicing yoga and cultivating jnana, these last instructions are most powerful and stand above all others. 60. If the devotee has faith in the strength of this order, he worships Lord Krishna and gives up all other activities. Text 61. Tabat karmani kuravita na nivedyeta yavata matkata shavanadava shraddha yavan najayate. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulated principles of the Vedic injunctions. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:29. 62. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. Purport. Firm faith and confidence are called Shraddha. When one engages in the Lord's devotional service, he is to be understood to have performed all his responsibilities in the material world. He has satisfied his forefathers, ordinary living entities, and demigods, and is free from all responsibility. Such a person does not need to meet his responsibilities separately. It is automatically done. Fruitive activity, karma, is meant to satisfy the senses of the conditioned soul. However, when one awakens to Krishna consciousness, he does not have to work separately for pious activity. The best achievement of all fruitive activity is detachment from material life. And this detachment is spontaneously enjoyed by the devotee firmly engaged in the Lord's service. Let's hear that last thing. This is so sweet. These purports are just amazing. The best of all fruitive activity is detachment from material life. And this detachment is spontaneously enjoyed by the devotee firmly engaged in the Lord's service. Text 63. So many important verses are in this section. Yata tador mul nisheshchanena tripyanti tat skandabujo pishakaha prano paharat chayatendriyanam tataiva sarvar hanamachyuteja. By pouring water on the root of a tree, one automatically satisfies the trunk, branches, and twigs. Similarly, by supplying food to the stomach, where it nourishes the life air, one satisfies all the senses. In the same way, by worshipping Krishna and rendering him service, one automatically satisfies all the demigods. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 4:31-14. And we'll stop here, our reading. It's a stopping place. Hare Krishna. All glories to the association of the pure devotees of the Lord, which provides the opportunity to awaken pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. All right. Anybody have any reflections, points that stuck into your mind, you want to discuss, comments?
Santa Rupa Devi Dasi says Haribol.
Haribol Santa Rupa Devi Dasi. Haribol.
From Brian Phillips.
Haribol Bhakta Brian.
He says, good evening, Maharaj.
Good
Please
evening.
accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai, all glories to Prabhupada.
Rati Manjari writes, Jai Guru Maharaj, let's enter into the safe zone, the state of bliss. From Sutter Esther.
Sutter Esther.
She writes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We got some essential souls in this audience. They know the essence of what to say. Hare Krishna.
This is from Attila.
Attila. Hare Krishna.
He says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, I am very thankful that I got the possibility to hear the readings every day. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. Thank you for your time. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
From Gopakanya Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna Gopakanya Devi Dasi.
She says, Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Sharing is caring. I am following you sincerely, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you.
From Noel.
Bhakti Noel.
Says, Hare Krishna. From Laura Pauline Gentile.
Laura Pauline Gentile. Okay.
She says, respects.
Respects. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Sudevi Dasi says, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Sudevi.
And there's a comment here from Bhakta Ben in Wales.
Bhakta Ben. Hare Krishna.
He says, in relation to text 49, I read a purport where Prabhupada stressed the importance of us becoming a sadhu in order to give others the association of a sadhu. I found this a powerful meditation and motivation to try to tighten up my sadhana especially for Sankirtan.
Yes. Srila Prabhupada many times said that first purify yourself so that others will be purified by your association. It's not that this is meant, these verses which describe the glories of the association of the sadhus, sadhu sangha, are meant to be just, the special 1 in a billion devotees that come like Srila Prabhupada. But anyone who actually is following the instructions of a person, such a person, also becomes a conduit by which that empowerment is given to others, and the faith can be awakened in others by that person's association. So yes, we want to become advanced, but not for ourselves, but for the benefit of others. That is the secret to having a peaceful mind. Hare Krishna.
From Rati Manjari, she says, Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances. It was nice what you said about listening in the spirit of book distribution and sharing this nectar with others.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Those of us who were present with Prabhupada when the movement started to expand really a lot, in bigger numbers, when the book distribution started getting very intense, and we could see that it's such an auspicious activity, distributing these literatures to others. It's so auspicious. It brings devotees, it brings funds, it brings goodwill, it brings everything. And Prabhupada wanted us to distribute the books on the basis of the books, on the strength of the beauty and value of the books themselves.
And more from Rati Manjari.
Yes, Rati.
She says, in that connection, I especially liked what we heard about the comparison of the value of the association of a devotee. I quote, The conditioned souls are wandering throughout the different planets of the universe, entering various species of life. By good fortune, one of these souls may somehow or other be delivered from the ocean of nescience, just as one of the many big logs in a flowing river may by chance reach the bank.
Yes. The other day, we ordered a different internet connection company, and the box came and we set it up, and we were testing it out and everything. And I was wondering about the room that I'm in. So I look out the window and I saw the truck with this, it's called Virgin Media. I saw the truck, I said, oh, the guy must have come, and because it was just a few minutes after we got the book. So I sent Bhakta Seb down, and it turns out he wasn't there for us at all. He was just there doing some work on the street, and they very seldom come out to this street. Never seen him before. And he came up, and he said, yeah, this, so many things. And then I was asking him about hard wiring the computer to the router in another room. And he said, oh, I just happen to have a big, roll of wire, Ethernet wire. I'll give it to you. And he went down, he brought it, and I gave him 4 of Abaya's cookies that he cooks. So beautiful cookies, Mahaprasada. And he took it and he smiled, and he went out the door with a big grin on his face. So that's like, someone just kind of like a log in the middle of a river, just all of a sudden, boom, he's up on the bank, He got some devotional service. It was amazing. It happens all the time. Sometimes a guy goes just out and sits down on the high street or on the boardwalk or near the canal with the well, it's a little too cold now. I don't know if they're still there, but the swans come, play, and every once in a while someone just comes and says something or does something or gives something or receives something. And he was walking back from one of those sessions, playing his drum a little bit, and this lady comes out, the front door of her place, and she calls him over, isn't it? And she gave him some fruit or something. A box of cookies. And in this way, devotees spread Krishna consciousness just by walking around. It's amazing. These are the practical examples of what we're reading in the books. And the more we put what we're reading in the books into practical vision from what we can see and experience, what we're going through in day-to-day life, the deeper it goes and the more clear it becomes and specific, and then the more powerful it becomes to awaken our attachment to Krishna. So we don't have to endeavor separately for becoming attached to Krishna. We just have to try to give Krishna to others. Be prepared for whoever happens to, get washed off the river of material existence onto our doorstep. Hare Krishna. And we have to go out and meet them, especially in these marathons. Now we can't go out so much because of the pandemic, but we have to reach out through the phone, through the internet, through some way or another. We have to innovate. It's happening. Vaisheshika Prabhu is distributing twice as many books than he did before the marathon, because he's determined. He's straining his brain all the time how to distribute more books and meet more people and give them an opportunity to get the association of Prabhupada, the pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Rati Manjari quoted one other verse. She says, and from the purport of verse 43, there are unlimited conditioned souls who are bereft of Lord Krishna's service. Not knowing how to cross the ocean of nescience, they are scattered by the waves of time and tide. However, some are fortunate to contact devotees, and by this contact they are delivered from the ocean of nescience, just as a log floating down a river accidentally washes upon the bank.
Exactly. Precisely.
And then one more just came up. And the Lavamatra verse, where 1/11th of a second of a pure devotee's association, reminded me of showing a book of Srila Prabhupada to a person in the street. Even though they may reject it, they have looked at it, and even that is very auspicious.
Absolutely. And if they touch it, it's even a little bit more auspicious. But yes, or they somehow rather get it and put it in their house, and they don't even know what it is, but their whole house becomes more auspicious. Even just the book gets into their house. Okay, I thank you very much for these lovely comments. Thank you very much, Rati Manjari, for churning the ocean of nectar with us. Sri Caitanya-caritämrta ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. See you tomorrow night. Same place, same station, same subject. See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.